Hello and welcome to the Town of Malta Comprehensive Plans Committee Open House. What is Comprehensive Master Plan? It's a vision for the future which establishes a framework for the municipality. These plans typically include land use, economic development, infrastructure, which includes transportation, water and sewer, as well as housing. Generally, these plans are updated every 5 to 10 years in order to revisit the plan to make sure that it complies with the current growth that is happening and development conditions and continues to establish an accurate direction for the community's vision. These plans serve as the basis for zoning and future zoning changes within a community. Town of Malta Town Board appointed a 9-member committee in January 2019 to update the town's 2005 master plan. This committee is comprised of residents who live across the town of Malta, along with town employees. Also, the town of Malta had the Chazen Companies, who is their town's consultant, assist the committee with creating maps, helping during meetings, as well as providing us with various studies. Monthly meetings during 2019 were held by the committee. Time was taken off during the COVID pandemic. However, the committee reconvened in July 2020 and has met basically every other week since in an effort to catch up and keep the plan moving forward. Community information such as demographics, mapping, roads, parks, and land use is being updated as a part of this plan update. Draft goals and recommendations will be provided to the town board shortly. Mission statement was provided to the Comp Plan Committee by the town board, and it reads as follows. Mission of the committee is to update the 2005 comprehensive plan by surveying changes in property development and land use regulations since 2005. Obtaining input from appropriate town committees such as Economic Development Committee, the Open Space, Agriculture and Trails Committee, and Historic Preservation Review Commission. Analyzing community resources and potential opportunities and considering the views of community members. As the 2005 committee recognized, town will never be greater than the vision that guides. Overriding themes that emerged as important to the committee as they have done their work through the several months is sustainability, both economic and environmental, public transportation, starter as well as senior housing, connectivity such as streets, pathways within neighborhoods, complete streets, which is happening on Route 9 South right now, including sidewalks, street lighting, as well as amenities such as benches. Infrastructure, buffers, senior services, development layouts that provide adequate buffers along roadways. A good example of that is how Luther Forest was developed. The continuance of excellent fire and emergency services throughout the town, and the continued support of open space, agriculture, and trails. The committee decided to maintain the original 13 neighborhoods from the 2005 plan. They examined each neighborhood, the recommendations that were had in 2005, and revised them to meet 2020. Neighborhood maps have been updated with the assistance of Chazen. There were 2 neighborhoods in particular that had not been updated in some time that the committee had spent a little extra time on. Neighborhood 1, which is exit 11, as well as neighborhood 8, which is Saratoga Lake. Chazen Companies also provided a build-out analysis to the committee as a way and a tool to allow the committee members to see where our development and growth has been happening across the town, in particular where we stand today with the amount of lots or homes that could be developed with the zoning that's currently in place. They also solicited input from the town committees, and town staff, including the planners, provided metrics for the committee with respect to planning as well as zoning. The town of Malta's most recent zoning map here from 2018 was also reviewed and analyzed to make sure that it's in keeping with what is happening today. Recent zoning changes that have happened since 2013 in the town of Malta have been significant. Route 9 South and 67 East, which takes up neighborhoods 2 and 3. Route 67 West, which takes up neighborhood 7. Route 9 North, which incorporates neighborhoods 6, 9, and 12, was most recently finished in July of 2018. There were several neighborhoods listed here that had not recently been updated, including Exit 11, which was neighborhood 1, and Saratoga Lake, which was neighborhood 8, which I had mentioned a few slides back that the committee had focused on in their deliberations. This is an example of the build-out map that Chazen had provided to the committee. As you can see, it's color-coded by neighborhood, as well as it has the neighborhood name listed there, and shows a numerical value of approximately the number of homes or properties that could be developed in that particular neighborhood with respect to the land that is currently there and available for development. The committee, as a way of gathering input for the compilation of the recommendations, did a SWOT analysis. This was internal during a committee meeting in June of 2019, where they identified strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. On this slide, following each of those categories, you will see some of the things that the committee had listed. Also, there was a community survey that was released in February 2019. We had sent out over 11,000 postcards to homes within the town of Malta to let everyone know that we were conducting a survey for this purpose. We had gotten, I know this says 873 responses, but I think after all was said and done, we were closer to 1,000. But we got a mix of retail and restaurants was what was important to the public, as well as continued support of open space, public access to the lakes, parks and trails, and diversity of housing. This survey was done by SurveyMonkey, so it was online, but we also had paper copies available in the Town of Malta Town Hall, in the Building and Planning Department, as well as the town clerk, up in the community center, and we also had it distributed to seniors as well. We held 2 public meetings in February of 2019 to kind of kick off the release of our survey. One meeting was held on a Saturday morning in the Town of Malta Town Hall. The second one was held an evening meeting at Chango Elementary School. And the items listed underneath this topic were some of the public input that we had gotten and what was important to the people who attended those meetings. Comp Plan Committee meeting notes are all available online, as well as some handouts and things that we have reviewed and that Chazen has helped us with during our time. And these community open houses that I had mentioned we're going to have 5 of during the month of October. This is our second round of public information gathering. This is a picture of neighborhood 8, which is the Saratoga Lake neighborhood. I had mentioned that the committee had spent some time talking about this neighborhood and the development that has occurred there since 2005. There are 3 different zoning districts within this neighborhood, R4, R6, and R8, all with very small minimum lot sizes. However, the majority of lots that currently exist are even smaller than the minimum lot size. This generates a lot of zoning variances that come before the Zoning Board of Appeals within the town of Malta if anyone should either want to redevelop or develop their property in the first instance, or even add on. The following bullets underneath the listing of the zoning districts are some suggestions by the town planner and stormwater management officer as things to consider as recommendations for this neighborhood in particular, requiring some additional review when it comes to soil disturbance as well as erosion and sediment control. There's also some notes about design standards in an effort to try and limit the amount of development or disturbance that happens on the lake. This chart was also provided to the committee for their consideration. It's a little outdated now as of 2020, but I think as you can see, the amount of single-family residences has increased significantly just in 5 years' time. The amount of seasonal homes has decreased as people are converting seasonal homes and camps to year-round single-family homes. The recommendations to the town board have been formulated and have been categorized as these following items: land use and zoning, transportation, parks and recreation, open space and natural resources, cultural and community resources, infrastructure, housing, economic development, and community services. These draft goals and recommendations can be found on the town's website underneath the master plan button. Also, if you're reviewing this PowerPoint presentation in person at Town Hall during one of these open houses, these recommendations have been printed out and are spread around the town board meeting room for your review and comment. As I previously mentioned, we're having 5 open houses during the month of October in an effort to solicit public participation and input. With this PowerPoint presentation will be rolling and it will be posted on the town's website so that anyone can have access and review it whenever they wish. We also have a dedicated email address. We encourage you to use that either for comments, questions, or suggestions. Next steps after we complete our 5 open houses is to review the public comments that we received and incorporate into our draft plan where appropriate. We then provide the draft plan to the town board, which will be the committee's official recommendation to the Town of Malta Town Board. Then the town board has the option of reviewing and adopting the plan. They can also make recommendations to change the plan, but the town board has the final say. They will be required to hold a public hearing, so there will be another opportunity for public input at that time to make sure that we comply with New York State SEQR, which is Environmental Quality Review Act, and then the town board will be ready to adopt the plan. It is expected that after a comprehensive master plan gets updated, that updates to zoning where necessary will follow. And again, this is because the town comprehensive plan is the basis for zoning. And so if you've adopted a new plan that has some updated goals, recommendations, that the zoning be in conformance with what the comprehensive plan has to say. So it's expected that we will start that exercise in 2021. Again, I mentioned that we have a dedicated email address at the Town of Malta for this project that you can email suggestions, ask questions. Also on the Town of Malta's website, underneath the Building and Planning Department, we have a comprehensive plan section where you can find our notes and handouts and graphics. This presentation will also be on there. And as always, you can call the Town of Malta Building and Planning Department or stop by if you have further questions or would like